giant eagle saved Gandalf from Saruman. Why couldn't they use that to fly to Mordor and throw the ring on Mount Doom? Oh, hey guys, LunarSpotland27 here, and what was I supposed to do again? It's Golden Week, and there aren't any like chapters that are out. Oh wait, yeah, now I remember. I was supposed to do Fairy Tale 329. Then again, I kind of skipped on the chapter Toriko thing. I mean, Zebra kicked one of the Nitro's asses. The fight between Chio and Setsuna commences. Then Neo interferes, and that was basically it. But it was still a good chapter. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, Fairy Tale chapter 329. 7 Dragons. Yes, I know the chapter came out on Tuesday, but I was actually waiting for the Mangastream translation, but it hasn't come out yet, and, you know, I was getting too damn impatient. So, I guess I have to settle with another translator. Natsu has escaped Future Rogue's shadows and is on top of a tower staring at Future Rogue, who is flying on Terra, which is the nickname I gave to one of the 5 dragons. We don't know their names yet, or whether they can talk or not yet. Well, Future Rogue 6 Terra at Natsu, and it manages to destroy the tower, but Natsu was able to dodge it by swinging on that, whatever you call that thing, a spire, I don't know, the top of the tower, and he manages to land on Terra. He charges at Future Rogue, but he managed to dodge the attack, and he uses I believe a Shadow Dragon's Claw, I think, and attacked Natsu with it. So yeah, they are fighting on top of a dragon. That is honestly one of the coolest things in this chapter. However, Terra like turns on his or its side. I don't know if it's he or she or not. You know, trying to get Natsu off of him or it. Again, don't know if it's a he or she. And Future Rogue is using his shadows to stick onto Terra's scales, which I didn't know you can actually do that, but that's actually pretty handy. Then we get to see the rest of the dragons, you know, destroying the town, and Future Rogue is telling Natsu that it's too late. It's over. Basic cliched evil stuff. Now, we were gonna learn about Future Rogue's, actually, what his goal is, despite being a bit vague, but I will get to that. But we had to cut back to Atlas Flame. I think that was his name, yeah. Atlas Flame fighting against the Fairy Tale Guild. Everybody was okay, even though that massive Hellfire attack from the previous chapter. Atlas Flame is basically asking them if they are wizards, and Matt Groff says this: "We are not simple wizards, we're comrades connected by the same bond of a family." You know what, whatever. I'm basically used to it at this point, but it does get old. And I will admit this part was actually kind of funny. Matt Groff turns into a giant and tries to punch Atlas Flame, but he gets his hand burned. Yeah, the bonds of your comrades sure as hell came in handy at that point. Yeah, especially when you're trying to punch a dragon that is covered in flames. If it wasn't a dragon, it still doesn't excuse the fact that it's, you know, covered in flames. But yeah, his hands aren't fireproof unless he's got some fireproof magic on him. Yeah, I highly doubt that he will be capable of beating Atlas Flame. Also, Atlas Flame's a freaking dragon. So yeah, not much of a big surprise. The attack does not work, and Atlas Flame kind of gloats about it. He's like, no matter what power you use, you will not be able to beat a dragon. And he tail slashes the entire guild, knocking them all back, sending a massive shockwave. Even sending back Makarov as well. I'm not really that much surprised. I mean, these guys barely survived when they fought against Acnologia. And Acnologia used to be a Dragonslayer who killed a bunch of dragons to turn into a dragon. So no big surprise. But now we cut back to Sabretooth fighting against Bladebeak. And yeah, they're not faring off against it either, even though they have like 2 third-generation Dragonslayers with them. Rufus says that they should be capable of fighting Bladebeak because, you know, they did kill the dragons, which apparently was sort of true. They did kill their dragons, but it was because they wanted them to kill them. Now we get like a small flashback with Sting and his dragon. I think it was Vice Logia, I think that was his name. Vice Logia offered Sting to kill him because Vice Logia thought that if Sting kills him, then he will become stronger when he is bathed in the blood of a dragon. So yeah, he was willingly to sacrifice his life so that Sting should be stronger. And you know, Sting, when he was a kid, he didn't actually want to do it. So I'm assuming that he did it anyway. But then again, I had doubts about him because they still got their asses kicked by Natsu. And they're supposed to be really strong, so yeah. And you know what I don't get? According to Rogue, he said that Skydrum was really ill, so basically he killed him so they could end his misery. Or her, I don't know if Skydrum's also male or female, but we don't even get to see his flashback. So why do we get to see Sting's flashback and not Rogue's? Now back with future Rogue and Natsu, we actually get to learn a little bit more of what happened in the future, 7 years from now. Apparently in the future, the world is taken over by dragons. And among those dragons, there was one ruler, and that happened to be Acnologia. So yeah, in the future, not only do dragons take over the world, but Acnologia becomes the supreme ruler of all the dragons in Fiore. And in the future, there were actually no wizards or guilds. They were all wiped out, except for Rogue and maybe a very few people. I don't know like who else survived in the apocalypse, but Lucy did, but she's dead and she claimed that she never closed the gate. So I mean, like, future Lucy, I don't think that she was from 7 years into the future. She came from the day the dragons invaded. So, and then she came back on a few days ago before this happened. So basically, future Lucy came from several days into the future. I guess that would explain like why she didn't remember closing the gate. And why, you know, future Rogue did remember that. Because they came from different dates in the same timeline. It's a bit confusing, yeah, but I think that's probably my theory at the moment. We actually learn about Rogue's motives or his goal, but it's a bit vague. I mean, according to him, he managed to invent the dragon manipulation magic to control the dragons, because according to him, Acnologia can only be defeated by dragons, and he was going to use that manipulation magic to control as many dragons as he could to kill Acnologia and become the new king of dragons. Acnologia didn't even appear yet. So, isn't Rogue a bit too early at this moment? Or is he, I think maybe he brought those dragons to wipe out all the mages and, you know, take over the world so he can become the new Dragon King. Even though Acnologia hasn't even appeared yet, but it's a bit vague. I mean, he's basically just wants, the reason he's evil because he wants to take over the world, become the new king of dragons. And we don't even know why. I mean, what drove him to become like this? We still don't know that yet. And if he did invented this dragon manipulation magic, why couldn't he use this to manipulate the dragons from the future, 7 years from now, and kill Acnologia? I mean, Acnologia hasn't even appeared yet. Maybe he will in, like, the next couple of chapters. But, yeah, I just don't understand like why future Rogue wants to do all this. What drove him to become evil? There has to be some sort of motivation towards it, a reason. Even if the reason has to be stupid. And it's still surprising that the Rogue in the present who cares about his comrades eventually will turn into the Rogue 7 years in the future, being willing to kill one of his friends to obtain new powers and kill everybody just so he could become the new king of dragons. It's just, what drove him to become like this? And do not say because Fro died, Because that is stupid. After we learn about Future Rogue's goal, Natsu uses a dragon fire punch on Terra, and he manages to beat it already? Yeah, I mean, it was just one fire punch on Terra, and it's defeated, sort of. I don't know. So, you know, like, right after he punched Terra, he starts yelling to everybody in the town. He tells everybody that Dragonslayer magic can defeat the dragons, and that there are 7 Dragonslayers, 1 for each dragon, which there are 7 of them. And then he goes on saying, our magic was created for this day. The Dragonslayers exist to fight now. You know, from what he said, it feels like this might be the final arc of Fairy Tail, but then again, I heard that we're gonna have like 3 more arcs according to Hiro Mashima, but then again, I also heard that Hiro Mashima might quit if nobody else is interested in it. So after the speech, he manages to punch Terra again. Yeah, I think Terra is now down. Yeah, I guess it is defeated. It's kind of disappointing. I mean, it was 1 dragon defeated just like that. Anyway, I know what you're all thinking. Natsu said that there are 7 Dragonslayers, 1 for each dragon. But there are only 6. Well, this is when things start to get really interesting. Remember when Jalal asked for a favor from Lahar and Dorenbolt? Well, apparently that favor was to bring another Dragonslayer back from prison. And it happens to be none other than Cobra. Yes, Cobra is back after 7 years, unless you count in the anime that arc with him in the Returned Roycian says, which I haven't actually seen, but apparently it's supposed to be important towards the main plot, I guess. Anyway, yeah, Cobra is back. There's actually now 7 Dragonslayers to take on 7 dragons. Cobra has now appeared, and he looks like he's going to be fighting in Fairy Tail's side and along with everybody else, and that's basically where the chapter ends. So that is Fairy Tail chapter 329. What did I think? Well, I thought this was a decent chapter. Rogue's motivations to being evil, like why he's doing all this, is still a bit vague. The reason he's evil is because he wants to become the new king of dragons. And yet Acnologia hasn't even appeared yet. So shouldn't he have, like, if he wanted to take over in the present, shouldn't he wait until, like, Acnologia comes, and then he brings the dragons and he manipulates them to kill Acnologia, and then he would become the new king? But then again, I highly doubt 7 dragons will be able to beat Acnologia. I mean, that I would want to see, but I highly doubt Future Rogue is going to become the new king of dragons. There were a couple of friendship speeches every now and then, but Natsu's speech was actually more tolerable, saying that they can be able to beat them as long as they have the Dragonslayer magic with them, which I thought that was okay compared to all the other annoying speeches that he always has. And Malgrove's speech, when he fought against Atlas Flame, yeah, I did not care about that at all. I was a bit annoyed about this, but I found it very amusing that he tried to punch the dragon that is covered in flames. Even if it wasn't a dragon, but it was still covered in flames, yeah, turning into a giant and punching it is not going to make you immune to fire. Now, you know, Cobra's return. I actually liked Cobra. And yes, I know that people think that he doesn't count as a Dragonslayer, but he has Dragon Lacrima in him as well as Loxus, so they count as 2nd generation Dragonslayers. I don't know, like, what dragons each Dragonslayer is going to face off against. Sting and Rogue will obviously face off against Bladebeak, but then again, they have to deal with the other ones like Rocky and Gills. Since Wendy is like the only Dragonslayer at their group when they're going to fight against Zilconis, it seems like Wendy will be the one to try to beat Zilconis. And considering that the next chapter, 330, is called Zilconis' Magic, yeah, we're probably going to see Zilconis against Wendy, probably. But then again, I don't know, like, what the rest of the dragons are going to face off against which Dragonslayer at the moment. Now, one of my subscribers mentioned about me this character named, that I mentioned before that I never remembered before. It was Kinana, I think that was her name. Turns out she was the snake hydra thing that Cobra had back in the Eurasian Says arc. And it was because of some curse that a wizard casted upon her. So I don't know if there's going to be some interaction between her and Cobra, since, you know, she used to be Cobra's snake, Hydra thing. And I don't know if it's going to tie into that arc in the anime, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, Natsu beating that one dragon, Terra, I was a bit nervous because seeing a dragon being defeated by 2 punches like that, well, then again, it's still too early to tell whether Terra has been really defeated or not, but how it was beaten so easily by Natsu, I can't help but feel like these dragons are going to be beaten so easily, and I don't want that to happen. We expected dragons to appear after these stupid tournaments, and now the dragons have finally appeared, and knowing that Dragonslayers is going to beat dragons, I want them the fights to at least last a little longer, like not like 1 chapter, maybe like 2 or 3 chapters, depending on who's fighting against who. And I don't want like this threat to be diminished so easily. I want to at least see some casualties towards the good side. Now, I just want to make things clear. Future Lucy did not count because it didn't really affect the present Lucy. But I wanted like some casualties on the good side. Not counting Simon and not counting the characters that died in a flashback or off panel or any of that. I mean, we actually witnessed a character death. And a character death that is from the good side and that's not evil. That's all I just want at this moment. Bring these casualties to make us know that these dragons are a serious threat, that future Rogue is a serious threat, and that there is actually a sense of danger in Fairy Tail. Now, I guess they're not going to time travel into the past or into the future, you know, with the Eclipse Gate now that it was closed, which I'm still a bit disappointed that it was closed so easily. All Lucy and Yukino did was summon their celestial spirits, and they just closed the gate, and that was basically it. It was done like that. So I don't know if they're going to be able to, if they're going to use the gate again to go into the past or into the future. Maybe the dragons might be defeated in this arc, but future Rogue will escape, maybe into the future again or into the past or something. I don't know. I just really want this arc to be good, but I can't help but feel like I'm going to be disappointed. I really hope that these fights between the dragons and the Dragonslayers are really good. So yeah, that's basically what I thought about the Fairy Tail chapter. And honestly, I thought this chapter was decent. Hopefully it'll get better later on. So yeah, that's Fairy Tail chapter 329. Tell me what you thought about this chapter. Whether you liked it or not, just let me know in the comment section down below. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, all that good shit. Yep. I don't know if you know by now, but just recently, my channel has just hit 500 subscribers. Yes! Fairy Tail chapter 329. I'm Louis Brown 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.